In this tutorial, we're going to look at uh, chi-square test of association, and we're going to use an example from the employee data set looking at sex differences in job categories. And if you look at your variable view right here, you can go to job category and you can see the various labels of clerical, custodial, or managerial. And that would be the employment classification. So we're going to look at sex differences within those categories. We're going to do this for raw data, and then we're going to do it for summary data, so you can see how this is done. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to Analyze. I want to go to Descriptive Statistics, and I'll click on Crosstabs. I'll click on Gender. We'll make that our row variable, and we'll make employment category or job category our column variable. Under statistics, I like to ask for a chi-square, and I like to ask for the effect size, a phi coefficient. Anything I need in cells? Sure. You can see the observed values, the expected values, and the standardized residuals, which tell you what specific levels are contributing to statistical significance if there is an effect. So I hit continue and I hit OK, and you can see my output here. In my chi-square is significant. Chi-square is 79.28. Degrees of freedom is 2. So a chi-square of 2 equals 79.28. P is less than 0.001. You'll see here that the standardized residuals, you're looking for values over 2, and you can see for females in each of these categories, absolute value of 2 is really what we're looking at. And so all these are values here are contributing to the statistical significance. And the same thing with males, these values here are contributing to the statistical significance. So for example, we can see that there are 258 males and 216 females. Of those 216 females, 206 of them are clerical, and so we see an overrepresentation of females, and compared to males. And then we see there are no female custodial positions, and in managerial, we can see that men are certainly more represented than women in managerial positions. So now let's just say for a moment that I didn't have the raw data that we see right here. Rather, let's just say what I was given was this data here, this 206 clerical for women, 0 for custodial, 10 for managerial for women. And so I was given 206, 0, 10, 157, 27, 74. I was just given summary data. With that summary data, could we run a chi-square? And the answer is yes. We would just have to recreate the data set in a different way. So this might be something that you're asked to do on an assignment, so I want to show you how to do this. So with any new data set, what I want to do first is create my variables. I'm going to have a variable for sex. I'm going to have a variable for job category. And I'm going to have a variable for observed values. So sex, I can just label this. 1 can be male, and 2 can be female. And then I hit OK. And for job category, remember this was clerical, could be 1. 2 could be custodial. And 3 could be managerial. And then I hit okay. And so now notice I have my values. And so I'm going to have, for males, I'm going to have those males who are clerical, those males who are custodial, and those males who are managerial. And the same thing for females. 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3. And then what I would do is I would just input my summary data. So for males, we can see that my summary data is 157, 27, 74. So I put 157, 27, 74. And for females, it is 206, 0, and 10. Now, if I was going to run this, what I would first want to do is I want to weight my cases. So I'd say data, weight cases, and weight cases by, and I choose my frequency variable, which is my observed values, and I hit OK. And so my cases are now weighted, and now I go back and I just do the same thing I did before. I click on crosstabs. We'll put sex as a row, job category as a column. Same things I'm going to hit here. There we go. And hit continue and OK. And notice my output. Interesting. And I get an error, looks like. Oh, no, I did not. It gave me a warning, but not an error. So notice here, this table is the same as this table, 206, 0, 10, 157, 27, 74. Notice right here, 157, 27, 74, 206, 0, 10. My chi-square is the exact same. So yeah, so that's how that can be done. So even though you get a 0 here, know that can impact the statistics, but it's just a warning. It's not an error. Okay. So there you have how to do this for raw data and summary data.